best. Let me also say that it is the reason why this year we have improved our budget on matters school feeding, because many children in our informal settlement, in the pastoral areas, fail to go to school because there is no food at home. And sometimes they don't even have the energy to go to school because they haven't eaten something. And it is very important that our children don't lose the chance to go to school because there is a gap of a meal. It is the reason why we are improving our budget. I want to thank members of parliament. When I made the proposal to increase the budget on school feeding from about 1.5 billion to 5.5 billion, parliament approved, knowing very well that these are our children. This year, hopefully, we will improve the number of kids that will benefit from school feeding. If all the counties were to come on board, we would actually take it to 8 million kids who will get a meal in school. But working as national government, we are targeting 4 million. I did ask, and I want to thank the governor of Nairobi for coming through. I did ask that any county government that puts a shilling in school feeding program, we are going to match that shilling with another shilling so that we can make food accessible to the children who need it to be in school. And you have seen the statistics because we've gone through these numbers. Just by providing a meal in school, the numbers go up by 150%. Clearly indicating that a meal in school is making a difference in not just attendance in school, it also has an effect in school learning outcomes. So this is an exercise we must keep at it. Number two, it is also the reason why we are having a conversation with Parliament. I know there is a debate in Parliament with our members of Parliament on a matching fund for delivery of our junior secondary school classrooms. I want to persuade our members of Parliament that to be able to provide sufficient infrastructure for all our children, we are making resources available as national government to match the national government constituency development fund so that we can provide sufficient number of classrooms for all our children to transition from primary school to junior secondary to the next level and on their way to either our TVETs or to our universities. Again, I want to persuade our members of Parliament for us to work together in this space to deliver for the children of Kenya the opportunity for them to learn. And number three, on the same subject of education, when I came to Kasarani, when I came to Roysambu earlier this year, with Governor Sakaja and the MPs from this county, on the school feeding program, it became obvious that there are still too many children in Nairobi who are not going to school because there are no adequate classrooms. 209 schools in Nairobi is actually half the schools I used to have when I was a member of Parliament in Eldoret North. Yeah, I used to have close to 130 schools. Now you have, and that is for one constituency. Now you have in Nairobi 200 schools for 17 constituencies with 4.5 million people. There is something fundamentally wrong in the city of Nairobi. And it is the reason why I undertook that we are going to build an extra 5,000 classrooms in Nairobi County. And I'm happy I'm saying this in the presence of the county government and the members of parliament from Nairobi. When I made that commitment, we had already done the budget process. I want to tell the Nairobi County, especially members of parliament and the county government, that in the supplementary that I am sending to parliament this week, probably tomorrow or Monday, I have committed R1 billion shillings for Nairobi County as part of my commitment to start the building of the 3,500 classrooms that I undertook that the national government is going to build in Nairobi County. I want to ask members of parliament from Nairobi County to work with the Ministry of Education on a joint program, because we are going to make this, we are not going to procure ourselves for the construction of the classrooms. We want to work with the CDF to do that, so that it becomes easy to deliver. So please, members of parliament from Nairobi, too many of our children in our informal settlements in Nairobi are not going to school because there are no adequate number of classrooms. Let us work together. I'm going to make a provision of R1 billion shillings this year, R1 billion shillings next year, and R1 billion shillings the following year, so that we can complete the construction of the 3,500 from the national government. And Sakaja has given me his undertaking that he will do the 500 schools this year, 500 next year, 500 the coming year, so that we complete the 5,000 classrooms for Nairobi County in 3 years. It would be a very big shame if the capital city of Kenya has kids who are not going to school. You know, it would be something that is unbelievable. Not that those not in the capital should not go to school. In fact, the surprising thing is that there are more kids going to school in the rural parts of Kenya than there are in the city of Nairobi. You know, what a paradox. So we need to work that out, and I am happy that we have a program. Please, CS Machogu, call the members of parliament from Nairobi next week, sit down with them, let us see how we can get Nairobi learning, get all our kids in Nairobi, irrespective of where they live, to go to school. And we are going to find, with the members of parliament, where to build these schools and where to make sure that where we build these extra classrooms in the various places, whether it's even in some of the primary schools. We can work with the county to make sure that that happens. Let me also say that our children with special needs, and I was informed by the director of this place that when you say children with special needs, it doesn't mean only those who are disabled, even those who are too clever. I'm told they are also, they have they need some special learning. So, and he has requested me 2 things, that we need to manufacture more devices to support the children with special needs. And I quite agree that we're still importing many of the basic devices. And we have decided as a country that what we can produce in Kenya, we should use the human capital we have, the resources we have, the raw materials we have to produce them in Kenya. And I agree that this is one area that we need to produce devices that are used by our children with special needs here in Kenya. They already have a piece of land, it tells me, in Mavoko. I will make sure that that land is secured. I'm told there are some people hanging around there. I will deal with them. So we will secure the land. I will send the National Youth Service next week to secure the land. And I want to ask our members of parliament who are here that I'm going to adjust my budget again. I will knock off a few things. including the travel allowances and many of the things that are in there, so that I can find 500 million shillings to give it to start the manufacture of local devices that will assist in learning by our children with special needs. So, wabunge kina Mejandong mukubali. Mimi nitaenda nikate budget ya travel, tuweke 500 million ya wao wanafunzi. Na nitalete bunge kesho, so mujipange huko. Na mupitishe. Musipopitisha nitawashtaki kwa hawa watu hawa. So, and so prepare yourself. I'm going to instruct the National Youth Service to work with you so that we can put together the facility that will manufacture devices for our children who need them for special learning. And finally, as was said here by the leaders who spoke, we have challenges of land all over the country, and we're trying to align. We're trying what we must get rid of in the whole of this is impunity. We must get rid of impunity. We cannot allow impunity in Kenya. You know, we all must play by the rules. We are all equal before the law. And so the people who are willing to negotiate, they should negotiate and have a settlement. That is the best way to go about it. But the people who, using impunity, want to bring fake titles, seek entitlement to what is not theirs, that's not acceptable. So for the land that is in this institution, I am told some people have built flats around here on land that does not belong to them. So we are going to agree with them. We need the money to go and do the factory, so tutakata hapo, watulipe pesa. Market value. Sisi tutaenda, labda tuende tutengeneze factory ya kutengeneza devices ya watoto wetu. Tutaongezea ile milioni 500 nimesema tutatoa kutoka budget, namna hiyo. So watu yako Bwana Karauri waambie, sisi hatuna problem, tutawafanyia evaluation, watuletee pesa, waendelee na maisha yao. Ama kama sivyo, mambo tu ni yale. Si hapo tulikubaliana sisi wote. Hapo tulikubaliana. So, and so it is to, so I think even on the subject that was raised by Sakaja, the county government, the national government should facilitate a process of settlement in a way that is acceptable to the owners of the land and those who are occupying. If they are willing to pay, we should go that direction so that we can create more harmony and be able to take this forward. Let me also say that as we move this process forward, I am acutely aware that there are many children who are at home because their parents have no means to care for them. They are disabled in one way or another. And I agree that our community health promoters, now that they will have 100 households to look after, they should also look for all the children who today have no access to any medical attention, any attention of any sort, and bring them forward so that we can find a mechanism of assisting these children with special needs, children with disabilities, who today their parents have no capacity to support them. It is also the reason why we had to go on a paradigm shift in the delivery of our health delivery in Kenya. We had to do it in a different way. For a very long time, we concentrated on a curative mechanism, building bigger hospitals, equipping with more equipment, but it is proven that If we can do more prevention, we will have less hospitalization and less curative, expensive interventions. So the fact that we are moving to more promotive and more preventive mechanisms, working with our CHPs, reorganizing our primary health care, our dispensaries, our health centers, making them people-centric, bringing on board better public participation in the management, in all the other aspects, having committees of communities. Communities must begin to appreciate that the dispensary next door, the health center next door is your facility, and you need to participate in making sure that it is run well, and we have provided a mechanism under the new law where the public will participate more in making sure that their facilities are working. We have also ring-fenced resources for every facility so that it is not used for other things. It is used to make sure that the delivery of service in every facility is much more efficient, is better, is improved, and we will get the public to work around it as we build a healthcare system that leaves nobody behind. It will also eliminate the current problems we have, including the ones Esther was talking about. In hospitals where people go in car bills and nobody knows who is supposed to pay because they don't have the ability to. Going forward, every citizen of Kenya will have a health card. Every citizen. So going forward, there will be nobody who will be detained in any hospital because we have made provision for every category of treatment at the primary level, at the referral level, and referral goes all the way up to the chronic, the emergencies. We've thought out the whole process so that nobody gets detained again, as is happening at the moment in any hospital, because we will have made the right decisions. And it is my intention to make sure that we sort out this challenge that has been with us for many years. And this time round, I think we have it in the right place. And I want to thank again Parliament. They passed all the laws in record time. We now have a framework. I'm going to be forwarding to Parliament the regulations in another month or so to make sure that we have the complete policy and legislative ecosystem to make sure that we deliver on this matter of health. Meanwhile, I will look at what to do so that nobody spends Christmas in hospital. I thank all of you who've been part of this momentous occasion and expect that these vehicles will have a positive impact in the work that all our education officials are doing. My very best wishes to all our children with the exams from Monday, kwa watoto wetu wote wa taifa letu la Kenya ambao wataingia katika mtihani wetu Jumatatu.